everybody. On behalf of the Bishop Walker School students, I'd like to welcome you to our annual dinner and give a huge thank you to our sponsors, supporters, and underwriters for making this event possible. We couldn't do it without your generous support, and we are so excited to have you all here tonight. So please, find your seats and let's get ready for a great time. Enjoy the evening.
Hey, 2nd grade, let's help our guests get ready for tonight. Ready? Ready! It's time for the show. It's BWS, let's go. It's time for the show. BWS, let's go.
Thanks, guys. That was great. Showtime!
Please welcome to the stage Bishop Mary Ann Buddy.
Thank you. Please take your seats. You all know how to make a girl cry. It is my privilege to be the first to officially welcome you from this podium to an extraordinary evening in celebration of the Bishop Walker School. And so one thing we know that we have in common here, all of us, is that we value and indeed have been the recipients of ourselves education. And education that is not simply the accumulation of fact, but education that develops a human being with a moral compass and setting us on a, God willing, a journey toward wisdom and compassion. And the Bishop Walker School, like many institutions from which we have benefited, exists to provide that kind of foundation at the earliest age of formative life experience that can set a child toward a life of deep meaning, the quest for purpose and knowledge, and the desire to make a difference in this world. And how blessed are we to be a small part or a large part of that collective endeavor. So thank you. Thank you for your part in this great opportunity. And also something that connects us all. There's so many different connections that are represented here in this room. Yet for this evening, we come together for a single purpose, to celebrate and to continue to support a ministry and an endeavor of such great meaning for the boys who will grow to be men, who are the students now and one day alum of the Bishop Walker School. So I hear that is our theme tonight, to look at the trajectory moving forward of where children blessed to be students at the Bishop Walker School, where their lives will take them. And we'll have some indication of that tonight. We're in for a treat. My task, aside from welcoming you, is to offer a prayer of blessing and thanksgiving for the meal and for the night that we are privileged to share. And so if you are a person of prayer, I invite you to join me as we say, gracious God, we are here mindful of how blessed we are in a time when blessing and And the goodness of life is something to cherish and to share as best we can. Tonight, we give thanks for all those who have made this evening possible, to allow us all to put on our finery and celebrate with one another, and yet to remember why we're here. So bless the food, please, and allow us to draw from its nourishment. Thank you for all those who have helped prepare it. And bless us as we continue on the paths you've set before us. And above all, gracious one, please keep your protective, loving gaze upon the students and the alumni and the faculty and staff and all the supporters and leaders of the Bishop Walker School. We are privileged to be here, and we give you thanks. Amen. Enjoy your dinner.
My name is Damon Parker. I'm a college freshman here at Towson University, and I'm here to take you on a day of my life. Let's do it. It's snowing outside, man. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, welcome to the second class.
BWS is unique in that we are the only K-5 all-boys Episcopal independent school in the U.S. And particularly, it's unique that we provide full tuition support for each of our students.
Once we got here and we took the tour and talked to the administrators and the teachers, it just felt like home to me. It felt like my sons would be taken care of.
We believe in their potential, we believe in their brilliance, we believe in their creativity, and we are here to really support that and to make sure that our boys go off into the world and become the people they've been created to be.
To be able to watch the educational trajectory of a 5-year-old to a 20 and 21-year-old really is something unique to experience as an educator.
Having my family here and also having Bishop Walker be a family was really good for me because I feel like I just had a tight bond and a really good trust for everyone.
Bishop Walker prepared them to believe in themselves, honestly. I can see it every day in their steps, the humility, the holding themselves accountable.
What I hope our Bishop Walker School alum will take out into the world is not just the set of skills that we have instilled in them here, but also that they're going out into the world and having wonderful opportunities to express and experience joy.
Walking back from my second class.
I'm a history major, and I'm planning to be a teacher.
And I think a lot of that came from Bishop Walker, seeing young Black men teaching. That's not something that you see every day.
It was because of the teachers here at the Bishop Walker here in my time. My 4th or 5th grade teacher, I think they were the ones that really inspired me to be a teacher.
We also want them to invest in their communities and be teachers or lead BWS one day. We would love to see that.
We want to make sure that we're creating a pipeline between our alumni students and our current students. And so it's important to have those data points so that we're able to offer support, not just to our alumni students, but then also to the students who are still here at the Bishop Walker School.
It's very rare in elementary education that there is an office for alumni activities, but we really pour into that aspect of our program, having a support system that follows them through to adulthood.
We are in the business of legacy building. Those who invest in our school, you're not just investing in the educational success of our boys, you're investing in a legacy.
The legacy is that our young Black boys can do anything. They are bigger than their circumstances. The belief that's poured into them, the hope that's poured into them at Bishop Walker is priceless.
Of love that clings to me, How the thought of you.
Please welcome to the stage the Governing Board Chair, Andrew Clark.
Good evening, Bishop Walker School family. What a wonderful view I have from up here. I think there's 650 generous, dedicated, and I'm going to say really handsome and well-dressed people here tonight. And how amazing is it to have Jeffrey Wright with us this evening? Even though when I met Jeffrey this afternoon, he asked me if I was Scottish, I said I was from the next best place, Ireland. And Jeffrey received his diploma from Bishop Walker in this very building. It's a very moving occasion for us to have Jeffrey return. As we approach the centenary of Bishop Walker's birth, we honor his legacy manifest in a thriving community of learners. For 7 years, this cathedral that Bishop Walker loved has generously welcomed us to host this event. Thank you, Dean Hollerith, and everyone on the cathedral staff for your warm welcome. I have a few people to thank in particular. Our annual dinner co-chairs, Amy Burke, Alice Leiter, Laura Stewart, Hilary West, and Juan Winans. Please give them a big round of applause. Thank you. This dinner is the anchor of our fundraising efforts. We're grateful for the generous underwriting support from our friends at Kellogg Hansen, that's Sarah and John Thorne, Anne and Mark Hansen, Lucy Pugh and Michael Kellogg. They are joined in underwriting by the Connolly, Sidham and Eristoff families and by Kevin Murphy. Thanks also to Michael Rankin and Mark Green at TTR Sotheby's for their 10 years of support. So we've so many generous donors, we'd be here all night if we started to go through them, but your names are listed on the programs and on the screens throughout the building, so thank you so much. At Bishop Walker School, we affirm our Episcopal values. And we are grateful for the leadership and guidance of Bishop Marianne, who is also our honorary chair. Thank you, Bishop Marianne. In addition to that, we are so blessed to have the support of parishes across the Episcopal Diocese of Washington and beyond. Many of them have tables here tonight because of their generous support, both individually and as churches. We're so grateful for your prayers, your support, and everything you do for the Bishop Walker School. Thank you. A full 90% of our budget comes from the generosity of good people like all of you. Because of your kindness, we are a tuition-free school. Your support offers opportunities for our boys to develop their God-given talents and realize their fullest potential. So on this evening, on the second last day of Black History Month, we celebrate love, we celebrate friendship, we celebrate leadership and joy. And speaking of leadership and joy, I want to invite to the stage Dr. Angelina Arrington, our head of school.
Good evening, friends, or as I like to say, hey, y'all. As my partner in leadership shared, I'm Dr. Arrington, affectionately known to most as Dr. A, and I'm the very proud head of school and chief storyteller at the Bishop John T. Walker School for Boys, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this evening. As we come together to support our scholars, our boys that we all hold so dear, I want to share a meaningful greeting from the Maasai tribe in Kenya that speaks to the heart of our gathering. So warriors from the Maasai tribe greet one another with the Swahili phrase, Kaserian and Gary, which means, and how are the children? They know that a society's health is measured by its children's well-being. And in response to this greeting, one would hope to hear, Sepati Ingera, the children are well. Tonight, it is with profound gratitude for your presence and your partnership that I can indeed answer, our boys and now our young men are thriving. Each of you here tonight, from our founders, longtime supporters, new friends, and everyone in between, you're part of fulfilling Bishop Walker's vision of a school that would transform lives, families, and communities. And because of you, Bishop Walker's legacy breathes and grows daily within our school walls. BWS is the only kindergarten through 5th grade tuition-free private independent school. That means that we offer over 80 full tuition scholarships per year, and it is because of your partnership and your support. At BWS, we offer our children mirrors that reflect their potential and the structured support, nurturing, and spiritual guidance to fulfill that potential. This past year, for example, our scholars achieved notable improvement in math skills from 4th to 5th grade. This growth, as a result of a shift in our curriculum and instruction led by our assistant head of school, our teachers, our assistant teachers, and our learning specialists with support from our parents at home. This isn't just a statistic. Improved academic skills can, in fact, change lives. Also, like the Maasai, we believe deeply in community responsibility. We are committed to a village approach, a concept grounded in the value from the African diaspora that all of the children belong to us. Our low student-to-teacher ratio, professional development, differentiated instruction, community and parish partnerships, and continued support through middle school, high school, and college are all made possible because everyone in this room, everyone in the village takes communal responsibility for our boys and young men. And look at what our community responsibility has accomplished through our alumni. We have 2 alumni here with us tonight, in fact. We have Damon Parker, who's on this side of the room. Damon, if you can please stand. Damon is a freshman at Towson. He's a BWS class of 2018. He's a history major, and he is an aspiring teacher. I have already recruited him to be a teacher assistant. We are putting him on the pathway to be the head of school. We have another alumni here with us, and that is Maxwell Bratcher. Some of you have met him, but Maxwell, if you could please stand up. Maxwell is a senior at Ron Brown High School. The light is here, so there he is. You'll hear from him later. He's a senior at Ron Brown High School, and he's making some decisions about college right now, and his top choice is Stanford. So if everybody can keep him lifted in prayer, we would love that for him. Each success story represents Bishop Walker's vision made manifest through the impact of our common belief that all these young men, they are ours. I see many familiar faces who have walked alongside us for many years. Thank you for being champions of our mission and doing what our board chair calls holy work. I also see many new friends. Nice to meet you and welcome. Welcome to the village. Thank you for taking the time to come tonight. This is your first step into the Bishop Walker ecosystem. We'd love for you to come to campus. We love visitors. Your presence tonight and our continued growth is the best way to ensure that the Bishop Walker's legacy continues. And in conclusion, the wisdom of the Maasai remind us that our children's well-being, all children's well-being all around the world, it is society's truest measure of progress. Your friendship and partnership mean everything to us, and our continued growth is only possible through our collective desire to be a solution when our children need us the most and to lift as we climb. Tonight, I'm profoundly grateful that when any of you ask me, how are the boys, Kaisarian and Gary, we can proudly answer, Sepati and Gera, the children and the young men at BWS are indeed well. Thank you for coming tonight.
So it's 8:25. Probably wait on the bus and then get to school. I just got off the bus. It's currently like 8:58.
You're not getting a filter. Class was great today. Hi. Hello. Hey, Jay.
You remind me so much of like my old teachers because at BWS, they always like made sure we had a plan.
A unique aspect of the Bishop Walker School is our philosophy of being a village, our concept that all of the children belong to us.
We are making manifest the African proverb that says that it takes a village to raise a child. We are continuing to offer support to them 5 years down the line, even 10 years down the line.
They were the family in the village that I didn't know I needed. Maxwell needed a summer program to go to and just happened to come upon Bishop Walker because one, it was free and it was right up the street from my jobs.
I could tell a big difference in his wanting to learn. It was much different. It was like he was more engaged. He was just always excited about being at the school.
Bishop Walker had like such great curriculum back when I was there. Physics is actually one of my favorite classes because of BWS. I want to go be a psychiatrist in the military. I first got a love for medicine when I had a love for science, thanks to 4th and 5th grade teachers.
The Office of Outplacement and Alumni Support focuses on maintaining active support of our scholars throughout their entire academic journey.
Out of the many boys who have come through the Bishop Walker School in the last 16 years, we are really happy about the fact that we have maintained communication and contact with 95% of our alumni families.
What we know here at BWS is that an investment in early education has proven long-term impact. The research shows us that, and our lived experience here at BWS.
We have found that this data is essential. It allows us to really figure out what those best practices are in offering support to our current students, our middle school students, and our high school students.
If he didn't have that foundation, he'd be struggling now.
My son is able to stand because of that foundation.
And now 16 years later, we're seeing the impact of the investment of our founders, our founding families, our founding faculty and staff.
BWS gave him that confidence to speak out, to speak up, to love your brothers, love your community.
As he moves further in his life, whatever he accomplishes, it always seems to link back to BWS.
Yeah, the plan is go to college, do ROTC.
Yeah, we're proud. We're doing good. We're doing so good.
We're making progress.
We are the village that our families oftentimes don't know that they need, but we're also the village that's going to make sure that our boys have a home to come back to once they go off into the world.
For the next part of the evening, I will hand over the platform to two of our alums, Maxwell, who you've just met, and Jordan Freeman, who will be performing at the end of the evening. And then to a prominent son of Southeast DC. It is my pleasure to introduce Maxwell Bratcher, 2018 alum and current senior at Ron Brown High School. Maxwell.
Good evening, everyone. I am Maxwell Bratcher, a proud alumnus of the Bishop Walker School for Boys, class of 2018. Bishop Walker wasn't just a school, it was a foundation, a family, and a place where I first learned the power of community. It was there I realized I wasn't just a student, I was a part of something bigger. A legacy of excellence, resilience, and service. Growing up, I saw firsthand the struggles our community faces, especially when it comes to mental health. Too often, these struggles go unnoticed, untreated, and unspoken. But Bishop Walker taught me that silence doesn't have to be the norm. It showed me that with the right support, guidance, and resources, we can uplift each other and rewrite our own narratives. Because of that, I'm pursuing a path as a psychologist and philanthropist. Dedicated to making sure individuals, especially young Black men, have the tools they need to heal, grow, and succeed. My mission is to break cycles of struggle and replace them with cycles of opportunity, empowerment, and hope. Bishop Walker didn't just educate me, it inspired me to serve, to lead, and to create a lasting change. And for that, I will always be grateful. Now, speaking of excellence and inspiration, it is my honor to introduce someone who has brought two of my favorite complex characters to life on the screen. Detective Gordon and my personal favorite, the brilliant Beatty from Hunger Games. A man who outsmarted an entire dystopian government with nothing but a wire and a plan. We both are part of a legacy that Bishop Walker and the impact his life and work has had on both of our lives. Jeffrey Wright is a distinguished actor, celebrated for his powerful and versatile performances across the stage and screen. A proud native of Washington, D.C. Southeast, he grew up in the very community that Bishop Walker School serves today. He attended St. Albans School, where he received his high school diploma from the beloved Bishop John T. Walker, and his connection to the Walker family has remained significant throughout his life. Wright's acclaimed career includes a Tony Award-winning role in the Broadway production of Angels in America, a Primetime Emmy Award for his portrayal in the HBO miniseries adaptation, and a Golden Globe Award. His filmography features standout performances in Basquiat, Hunger Games series, and HBO's Westworld. Beyond his artistic achievements, Wright is deeply committed to social activism, advocating for racial equality, education, and community empowerment. As someone who grew up in Southeast DC, he understands firsthand the importance of investing in young people and providing opportunities for future generations. His enduring ties to the Walker family and his dedication to uplifting communities make him a particularly meaningful guest for this year's annual dinner. I introduce to you all the incomparable Jeffrey Wright.
Wow. Thank you, Maxwell. That was really moving. It's really wonderful to be here with you this evening. When Tommy asked me last year about attending this dinner, in my head I pictured a few people gathered in a hotel dining room somewhere in town. Modest get-together, a few remarks, fish or chicken, sir? Glass of wine maybe, and a good night. I was wrong. I did not picture this. That would have been nice, but this is stunning. I just returned a few days ago from Latvia, where I was working on a film based on a book called The Wizard of the Kremlin. I highly recommend that read if you have not read it. The story it tells is relevant directly and indirectly to what is taking place now in our country. If you don't read the book, then you can see the movie. Should be out maybe later this year. Actor plugging his work right out of the gate. So I literally returned a couple of days ago, but as was stated, for those of you who don't know, but Maxwell told you, I grew up here in Washington, proudly in Southeast Washington. Give it up for Southeast. Come on. Ward 7, that was my home. But also, I grew up here on these grounds, on this close. Starting in kindergarten, I attended a tiny private school in Southeast, the Naylor Road School. It was kind of a holdover. You know Naylor Road School? That's amazing. It was kind of a holdover from the days prior to MLK's assassination and the subsequent riots in which many parts of Southeast were predominantly middle-class white. And this school was a wonderful, tiny, tiny place. When I came here to St. Albans, they were surprised that I spoke very little German and a little bit more French. But it had been run by a woman named Vera Klaus, who had escaped Nazi Germany prior to the war and had come to rule that school with an iron fist. But it, like the Bishop Walker School, was in Ward 8. But then I entered St. Albans in A form, one of 3 boys admitted to class that year, 1976. So this, too, was and is home. It's so good to be home. It's like a family reunion. That said, I've lived in New York now for almost 40 years, and I'm not certain that I've attended an event in this magnificent building since graduating St. Albans in 1983. So it was with a sense of nostalgic appreciation for this place and a quiet pride that I took in Bishop Buddy's recent homily during the National Prayer Service. I must use this moment to express my thanks to you for early, compassionate leadership and for shining necessary and forceful light upon certain of the challenges we're all facing as we enter this uncertain, shadowy, and divergent phase in the life of our nation. Thank you so much. And my thanks, of course, to the Walker family, including Willie Walker, distant cousin. First, for the decades of friendship and for the invitation to be here tonight in support of the Bishop John T. Walker School. When I reflect on Bishop Walker, what comes to mind immediately are his eyes, from which radiated a serene kind of stained glass light, expressive of his wisdom and his purposefulness, his kindness and his grace. He was such a comforting presence on this close, particularly for a boy like me who made his way to this high ground every morning across the city on a crosstown bus from Southeast. I can see him quite clearly right now. And I feel his presence tonight through this gathering in support and celebration of the school founded in his memory. And I see Skip Grant here as well tonight. His, too, was a comforting presence on this close for many of us. Comforting in a type of intimidating way. Intimidating, but always, always supportive and uplifting. It's wonderful to see you tonight, Mr. Grant. It's clear that the stated mission of the Bishop Walker School to alter the educational and social trajectories of children from historically underserved communities and prepare them for leadership and service inside their communities and beyond has never, since the school's founding, been more urgent and critical than it is right now. Institutional thinking, such as this, is under coordinated attack at this moment, led by what is known to be the highest office in the land, and judged by the cynical to be discriminatory and racist. Nonetheless, the need for this approach is great, particularly in Southeast Washington, many parts of which are indeed underserved and have been for decades. Many of the voices that mock and disparage the social ills that too often beset communities like those in some parts of Southeast are also the same voices objecting to the expansion of educational opportunity for the children of those same communities. It's an odd dynamic. The Bishop Walker School is purpose-built to enable its students to succeed despite the challenges presented by their backgrounds and challenges presented by those who would rather those students remain on the margins of society. But this is not the first time in America, of course, that there have been coordinated efforts to undermine the education of Black children. For instance, if I may, and I had not been aware of this incident, I'm embarrassed to admit, until I stumbled across it very recently. In March of 1835, a racially integrated co-ed school, the first of its kind in America, was established and built by abolitionists in Canaan, New Hampshire. 28 white and 17 Black students enrolled that first year, 1835. The Noyes Academy, N-O-Y-E-S, opened the door to educational opportunity for Black youth which had never before been offered them. Within 5 months, in August of 1835, the newly erected building that was the Noyes Academy was lifted off of its foundation by a team of 300 or so local white men who did not approve of its being there, along with a team of 100 or so oxen, and then dragged a mile through the town, down the road, to be destroyed. Black students who'd attended the school were driven out of town by cannon fire and gunshot. Historical records, local diaries state that all was undertaken in the interest of the town, the honor of the state, and the good of the whole community, both Black and white. Many of the most respectable and wealthy farmers of this and adjacent towns rendered their assistance on this occasion. The work was commenced and carried away with very little noise considering the number engaged until the building was safely landed on the common near the Baptist Meeting House where it stands, the monument of the folly of those living spirits who are struggling to destroy what our fathers have gained. Gives a new meaning to It Takes a Village. The Noise Academy was never rebuilt. Nonetheless, some of the black youth who'd attended, like Henry Highland Garnet, Alexander Crummell, went on to become respected scholars and significant figures in the abolitionist movement. Now, I share this not to scare anyone or to elicit guilt of any kind, but simply to retell the history so that what is past in America is known. The only way to repeat this tragic history is either to ignore it or to believe via some perverse and deranged logic that it was justified. Regardless, we've seen attacks before in the United States on expanded educational opportunity for young people like those attending the Bishop Walker School. But those young people are still here. I was one of them. I'm still here. And the Bishop Walker School, the Bishop John Walker School, is here now to carry on in the noble and worthy tradition of the original founders of the Noise Academy. St. Albans is of that tradition as well. I did notice in the school's progress report that at least one recent graduate of the Walker School went on to attend Landon. I suppose that's a good thing. I'm not certain. But the future success of the boys of the Bishop John T. Walker School, underpinned by the concrete foundation of educational and spiritual guidance they receive at the school, will be beneficial not only to them, but is in the interest of the town, the honor of the city, and the good of the whole community, both black and white, and of this country. So long as they all don't become actors. Thank you.
I want to say this before we transition. I got to introduce a young man from the Bishop Walker School who will be performing for us. His name is Jordan Freeman, a sophomore at the University of Maryland, College Park. Will be coming and performing for us. You guys demonstrated your love for this organization by your actions tonight of giving. We thank you for that. And let's give Jordan a warm welcome, round of applause to be here. Thank you.
Fly me to the moon, let me play amongst the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Ooh, come on! With song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, you.
That was fabulous. Thank you, Jordan. So as we bring this wonderful evening to a close, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each of you, our generous donors, underwriters, dedicated educators, supportive families, board members, and our very special guest, Jeffrey Wright. And most importantly, to celebrate our wonderful scholars and their families, and that's why we're here. Thank you so much to our families, our scholars, the wonderful young men who represent the Bishop Walker School. Our staff will be tabulating tonight's gifts for a few hours. And thank you, Rasan. You're amazing, and you're generous and kind to come and do this every year. Not an easy job, and we thank you. And just to let you know we've already raised $1.3 million because of your generosity. And your presence and your contributions make a lasting impact, and we're truly grateful for your commitment to our mission.
Tonight has been a celebration of legacy stewardship, village building, and the bright future ahead for our scholars. Your support empowers them to dream bigger and achieve more. Thank you for believing in our mission and in the work we do every day.
So, ladies and gentlemen, safe travels, good night, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you.
In the way you look tonight,